So Jonathan Majors has officially been found guilty in court, and Marvel Studios has officially fired Jonathan Majors. We pretty much knew that this was going to happen if he was found guilty. Marvel Studios pretty much didn't have a choice. Despite only being charged with 2 out of the 4 charges against him, he was still fired by Marvel Studios, and everybody is reporting about that today. The Rolling Stone, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety, this is official. Jonathan Majors will no longer play Kang the Conqueror in the MCU, and now it looks like Marvel Studios might be scrapping Kang altogether. Now, a studio rep for Marvel Studios and Disney did confirm the news about their decision to fire Jonathan Majors. So again, as official as it gets. And now outlets are reporting that Avengers Kang Dynasty is most likely not Avengers Kang Dynasty anymore. And this would completely change the course that Marvel Studios is on right now. Now, we had heard reports about this in the past. Jeff Loveness was originally supposed to be writing Avengers Kang Dynasty, but he was removed from the project. Michael Waldron was put on the project, but we heard when he went into the project, it was no longer titled Kang Dynasty, but simply titled Avengers 5. Now, at the time, some outlets were reporting that this was kind of a precaution by Marvel Studios, that the decision wasn't fully made yet to completely get rid of Kang in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Nevertheless, a lot of reports started coming out stating that perhaps Doctor Doom could take his spot, because according to a report from Variety, when Marvel Studios did their recent retreat, instead of it being happy and full of fun and full of energy, this time it was a little bit different considering the state of the MCU, and Jonathan Majors, his future, was one of the main topics. What do you do if Jonathan Majors is found guilty? They decided to fire him, and it's very clear that they decided that if he was found guilty, they would instantly fire him. It's very clear that this was decided long ago, because not long after the news came out today that he was found guilty, the studio confirmed that he was gone. So they had this plan in place before, which leads us to believe that they have a backup plan, and that backup plan is reportedly and rumored. I say both because at this point in time, who really knows what Marvel's thinking, but the reports before were that they were going to move away from the character and possibly introduce Doctor Doom. And Marvel pretty much only has 2 choices in this matter. Since they have officially fired Jonathan Majors, their 2 choices are simply recast Kang the Conqueror, get a different actor to play him, which I thought would have been the most logical thing to do, or they could simply remove the villain altogether, which seems a bit odd now that he's been set up in such a big way, especially with the post-credit for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and not to mention the 1st and 2nd season of Loki. They set him up in a huge way, but Loki is now kind of the master of the multiverse. He's holding it all together. And there were reports that have been out for a long time now. Since this first happened in March, insiders were coming out stating that Marvel Studios kind of has a backup plan with Loki for season 2 in case they have to fire Jonathan Majors, and now we are seeing this all come to fruition. I believe it was Alex P over at the Cosmic Circus who first reported this, stating that the end of Loki season 2 will kind of make it to where Marvel could go either way, continue on with Kang or get rid of Kang. So basically, Loki is now pretty much the controller of the multiverse. He holds it together, whereas Kang the Conqueror, he who remains, he ruled over it before, kept the sacred timeline, but now Loki is in charge and he's given us a true multiverse, and that's where the new story could come into play. I don't think, at least I really hope not, they would be foolish to do this. I don't think they are going to get rid of the saga being the multiverse saga. After all, Deadpool 3 is already in place, the multiverse is already in place. They can't really veer from that now. They can veer away from Kang and He Who Remains and his variants, but you really can't veer away from the multiverse saga right now, especially with Avengers Secret Wars coming up. But moving forward, it's pretty easy to tell a story without Kang the Conqueror thanks to the ending of Loki season 2. They'll have to backtrack a little bit, but it'll all make sense, especially since Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania came out before the ending of Loki season 2. Because 2 major things happened. One, of course, is Loki. He now holds the multiverse together. He can see everything going on inside of the multiverse, and he allows the multiverse to exist now. Now, this was pretty clever on Marvel's behalf, if they planned it. If not, then it sure worked out well for them, because if Kang was still here, if Jonathan Majors was found not guilty, they probably wouldn't have fired him because there would be no rights to fire him if he didn't do anything wrong. wrong. So they'd stick with Jonathan Majors as Kang, and Kang would still be the main villain. And since Loki truly opened up the multiverse, that allows all of these different variants of Kang to exist. And then some of them, or a lot of them, thousands of them, like we saw in the post-credit from Quantumania, get loose and start teaming up together and try to take over the multiverse. That's how it could have been, but the ending also set up something completely opposite. In the ending, we saw the TVA show us that their sole job now is to monitor Kang variants. That's extremely convenient on Marvel's behalf, because now all you have to do is say, hey, the TVA does their job. Just like they did before, just like they kept all of the other branch timelines from breaking out and the multiverse from happening, they do an extremely good job at finding Kang variants and pruning them. They're not pruning timelines, but specifically pruning Kang variants. And it even worked out that they even showed in the file at the end, Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and they said they had a problem in Earth 616, but they took care of it. Ant-Man took care of it. So right there, that is Marvel's way of saying, hey, we're moving on from Kang. Why? Well, because the TVA is doing such a good job at pruning all of the Kangs, he's not a threat. With Loki being able to see into different timelines and the whole entire multiverse, and the TVA inspecting the multiverse as well, they put Kang on lockdown. He's not a threat. However, you can still say somebody like Victor Von Doom has gotten a hold of Kang technology, and now he is the threat to the entire multiverse. And in a weird way, if this is what happens, we basically have a comic accurate Avengers Secret Wars, where Doom is essentially the main villain. Now, rumor had it before from some insiders that there was going to be a variant of Kang that was going to be the Beyonder. Well, in the comics, Dr. Doom takes the power of the Beyonder and becomes so powerful he becomes God Emperor Doom. So now we're set up for this to actually be a reality. And here's the deal, you can still have a Beyonder Kang variant. But what Marvel Studios would have to do is they would have to introduce Dr. Doom pretty soon. We need a big bad, and we want to be introduced to that big bad and have that connectivity leading up to Secret Wars now. Thanos was built up for years and years and years. We don't have that much time now until Avengers Secret Wars. However, if they delay it till 2028, which unfortunately, thanks to this, it looks like that might be more of a possibility, we could have 4 years. So 4 years to make Doom a prominent character in the MCU, and all Marvel has to do is really show a variant of Kang, it could be the Beyonder Kang or somebody else, and have Dr. Doom run into him and take his technology. And in the comics, they're actually believed to be related. So they could play off of that as well in the MCU, have a universe to where Doom and Kang know each other, and Doom, being the villain that he is, stabs him in the back and takes his technology. And ultimately, he could take over the multiverse, one universe at a time, just like Kang did. After all, Kang was just a man. That worked out for Marvel Studios as well. Kang is nothing special except for his mind, his technology that he has created. Other than that, he's just a regular human being. But with Doom, he is actually a sorcerer. He's still a human, but he has incredible godlike powers on his own without the technology. So now you add that plus the tech. Doom, who is already one of the greatest villains in history ever out there, could be one of the greatest villains ever on screen. This could be bigger than Thanos if Marvel Studios acts quickly and gets it done right. But let me know your thoughts about that in the comments down below. If what everybody is saying is true and Marvel is no longer doing Kang Dynasty and moving away from Kang, would you like it to be Doom? And if so, would you like to see him take Kang technology? And obviously it would be a different person who would play Kang for a little quick cameo in the MCU. Let us know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on the MCU. And if you subscribe and leave a comment down below, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5, an Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, and some DC items as well. The winner picks one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.